Check. One more time, can we have everybody take their seats for us? Please, please, we're about to begin this program for us. Very please, very soon, please.
That's amazing.
Check.
You keep playing though. Yeah, just get a little more music. Turn this up one time real quick. Yeah, turn this up real quick. Show us how you do. We got the Left Coast legend in the building right now. Oh, they did. Do you mind cutting our DJ back on? Please? Do you? Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing today? I can't hear y'all. How y'all doing today? That's weak, bro. Let's do it one more time. How y'all doing today?
Get it.
That's what I'm talking about right now. So right now, I'm here to introduce Chicago's own, you know what I'm saying, designer, creative director of Conversations Among Us. We're here because we have a conversation that we're getting ready to have, some real dope stuff. We got my man Joe Fresh Goods in the building. Make some noise, okay? All right. And I'm gonna hand it off to him. He's gonna do individual introductions for everyone else. We're gonna let everyone else like express themselves and let you know who they are. And I'm gonna hand it off to my mans right here. So let's give him a round of applause. Let's give everybody on the couches a round of applause and let's get started, y'all.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Zach. Yeah, thank you everybody for coming tonight. It means a lot to me. You know, Atlanta is one of those cities. When I started doing pop-up shops back in the day, I used to make sure I pull up to Atlanta. Y'all showed me love. My last pop-up here right before the pandemic, I did a pop-up here, had a long-ass line. So I really appreciate the amount of love that Atlanta showed me. So this conversation, I just wanted to like, you know, it's a black city. You know, I think I support Chicago all the time, so I just wanted to, you know, partner with a black city. You know, James always showed me love, so I appreciate what they're doing over here. So, yeah, you know. But yeah, so I'm gonna just, you know, I think the goal for me is to kind of explain what it is I just did, you know. Throughout time, when I hear the term creative director, I never really understood what that meant, you know. It's like a blanket statement, you know. So when this is like my second and a half year working with New Balance, you know, when I first started working with New Balance, I said this all the time, so it's not like new news, but Chicago is a Jordan and Nike city, you know. And I was a little nervous because I didn't know what to expect, and you know, I was leaving out of a bad deal with another shoe brand. I'm gonna try not to say names like that this time, but. You know, I didn't know what type of partnership I was walking into. And I think the cool thing is, you know, I'm very transparent as a designer, so I wanted to make sure that I kind of tell the world about how this came to be. I consider myself a real nigga. And, you know, I think for me, being in a position like this, I like to inspire other people. So, you know, I just wanted to kind of chat about what this project means, how I came aboard, working with New Balance and Black Souls. And just, you know, everybody up here on the stage is a part of this story. So, but yeah, so Conversations Amongst Us. I think, you know, it's very important for me to have representation in what I do. You know, I don't consider myself a sneakerhead, but I've always loved clothes and fashion. And I think when I look at, you know, how black people buy and what I see in the market. Growing up, I never felt like none of those stories really touched me like that. You know, I know we like the main consumer for everything, but I just never felt like commercials and ads, it didn't really feel like how I grew up, how me and my friends grew up. So, you know, I think I had success with my first New Balance. I dropped the 992 at All-Star Weekend, didn't know what to expect. That changed the course of my whole career. Again, I was All-Star Weekend competing against what Kanye had did. Don C had a drop. Jerry Lorenzo had a drop. Here I am on a whole nother side of the city of Chicago selling New Balance, you know, snowing. So I didn't know what to expect. And that pop-up shop changed my life. We killed All-Star Weekend. I went into working with New Balance thinking it was going to be like a one-off partnership, because that's what I expect for sneaker brands. That's why I kind of say this now, and I get into this at the end. I feel like oftentimes you're looking at two black men right here that got brands to keep fucking with us. I think sometimes we live in this micro-influencer age where it's just like, oh, it's All-Star Weekend or it's Art Basel. We're going to give this group of black people a shoe or do this. And then after that, you don't see no action. So just my history of collabing, I think around about 2 years ago, I started to feel used. I'll do something with McDonald's. Let me stop naming names. Let me stop. I'll do something with a brand, and then I'll do something with a bigger artist, And I'm the first person that gave this brand that idea. And, now I think as time goes on, I'll talk about that a little bit later about just protecting your ideas legally and everything. So, going into this project with New Balance, I thought I was going to be a one-off. Didn't know what to expect. Let's see what happened. We ended up killing it, and boom, I was on to my real second shoe. Outside clothes. Outside clothes was the first time I got a real budget. Because if you guys, again, I'm going to keep it too real. If I shouldn't say something, I should say just throw me a little whisper. So when you guys see these commercials I do, I don't pay for that myself. You know what I'm saying? That's brands believing in me with a marketing budget. So I think, that was the first time I had a budget to see my vision on the screen. So when it came to outside clothes, I was like, I'm always thinking about terms my mom used to say to me, my dad used to say to me, how I grew up in public school, dealing with gang shit, just stuff. And, it's not appropriation because I come from that. So when I do things, I just try to bring on those old stories of how I came up. So that's what Outside Clothes was, that commercial, again, that was my first time shooting something like that. Don't know if y'all saw that. But 3 days on the west side of Chicago. I shot at my grandma's crib, shot at LaFollette Park. It was a lot. So putting that out, New Balance didn't fight me on anything. And that's key for me. Everything that I do, I feel like I don't got to dumb myself down. So we dropped Outside Clothes, and the rest is history. I think for me, oftentimes being in my space, I don't really feel that confident, and I'm going to be super honest or whatever, that people are going to understand the things I do. So when I see those comments of like, oh shit, my grandma told me that, I used to get icy cups, like that type of stuff really inspires me because that makes it know that, oh, y'all understand, we all been through this, no matter where you at around the world. So after that came out, I felt a little bit more at ease with what my position in sneaker culture, as far as like storytelling. Releases is a whole nother thing. Whole other thing, how to release this shit, Jesus. I'm talking about pure storytelling tonight, nothing about releasing shoes. But yeah, and then I don't know how it happened, but throughout the whole history of my relationship with New Balance, I give back, and I think it kind of birthed into a two-part thing. I created community goods based off me just donating things and donating money, and it was just fucking up my taxes. You know what I'm saying? So I got the call from my accountant to make everything official. And, New Balance was really pushing me to, and I think that's the biggest thing I want to talk about is like, I'm not trying to hold they nuts. For me, it's just like, I really want to talk about true partnership, product, and just like marketing and how everything is more so like a family than us trying to push stuff out. I could care less about the product, low-key. It's really about making sure everybody understands the story. I launched Community Goods. That's my, serving kids, on the west side of Chicago, dealing with art, education. And, we had a talk with New Balance, and it was brought to my table to be a creative director for, and I hate the term Black History Month. We don't use that. I really wanted to, and they didn't hit me with this because, again, y'all, as honest as I want to be, I turned down so many black projects, because it don't feel right. A lot of huge brands, I opened up that deck. It was a black fist on the first page of the deck. I ain't gonna say the name of the brand, but just like some shit just feel like, come on, man, what y'all on? So, I know people see the things that I say yes to, but it's so much stuff that I say, no, because I don't want to, overuse my culture and make it feel like, oh, we want to be black, let's go to Joe. So I'm very protective of my energy and everything that me and my team do. With New Balance, everything was just natural, So when I come up with collections, I come up with the title first. I don't think about colors. I don't think about clothes, shoes. I really figure out like what I'm gonna call this, like what I'm gonna call this movie. So I go a little backwards. Instead of sketching out designs, I come up with what the vibe is right now. And I just looked at my relationship. Overnight I done came best buds with Kawhi. Wildest shit ever. I think for me and with a lot of my relationships, I could just call people. This industry, sometimes we so proud that if we need help, we don't hit each other up. And rewind, I did a release at Garfield Park in Chicago for the outside clothes. It was terrible, It was terrible. I had 3,000 people lined up outside. I had 2 registers. Whew, internet killed me. It was terrible. So when I tell y'all I was fucked up, like for 3 days, I've never got that much online hate. I was just like, yo, people was passing out. I was like, yo, my life is over. Sneakers and fucked up everything. But I just called everybody, you know what I'm saying? And I think for me, that's one of the last talks I had with Virgil. I was like, yo, how do you deal with internet criticism? Like, how do you deal with it? You know what I'm saying? And the things that he told me was just, I was just so intrigued that every top owner having a talk with James, like, yo, bots, what do I do about bots? Everybody gave me some very amazing, heartfelt, knowledge. And I just thought about everything. Like, yo, that's what conversation amongst us is. It's just, whether you at the barbershop, whether everything that we experience as black people that's like, feels like us. I want to, sometimes I try not to overcomplicate things. I'm not trying to black y'all to death, you know what I'm saying? But I want to always, with everything that I do, just make sure that I speak for us, I look at what's never been done before as far as storytelling and just try to attack it like that. But, I got the chance. So one thing about this is not my product. I keep seeing all the blogs fucking tagging me like this is my shoe. I helped Black Souls, which I'll touch on in a second. It was up to me to help with the visuals, how we communicating this with the public. I'm starting to fall in love with the story more than the product. I keep it real with y'all. I've always wanted to drop my own shoe. Now I got like 9 shoes dropping this year. I'm grateful, but I'm just like, I want to do movies and shit. So now it's just like New Balance came to me to direct this whole, idea. So, I just wanted to talk about how it came to light. I really want to use the opportunity to spotlight Black Souls. I really hate how the internet is just tagging me in all the product, when I worked with it with so many beautiful black people at New Balance. And, so I think, starting off into the conversation, and even with Black Souls, I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. I hate this. I didn't know how many black people work for New Balance at first, I ain't know, so I was a little confused at first on what I was walking into. So, you hear that story about Beyonce walking into Reebok and seeing no black people there and starting to freak out. Well, I wasn't at Beyonce level, so I couldn't freak out. But when I got to start working with New Balance, I got to work with a lot of cool black people. I get to see people raising their position. And I'm holding these brands accountable too. That's one thing. I want to make sure that people don't know that, think I'm getting used. I think a lot of things I really can't talk about publicly, but no, on the back end, we're really doing the due diligence to make sure that we hold brands accountable, So with Black Souls, man, sometimes I sit on their calls. They have these bi-weekly or monthly?
Yeah, bi-weekly.
Just calls, and I just sit back, cut my Zoom camera off, and they just be bigging each other up. Hey, who got a promotion? I got a, it's just it is just beautiful because it's just them on a call. Nobody white on a call at New Balance. They just do their thing. It just feel like the party line or some shit. You know that? You know what I'm saying? What's that shit? So, it just felt like a family. It didn't feel like we were just forcing product down people's throat. So I want to get into the product. I don't want to talk your ears off. I'm a little shy. But, just talk about, the collection a little bit. How was it, from past experience as far? Because again, we're not calling this a Black History Month thing. That wasn't the intention. It was just like, how could we create this Black story around Black people without just making it in February? Because I wouldn't have did it if it was like a February thing.
Exactly. And I think for us,
Kevin, what do you do?
Oh yeah, for sure. What's up, y'all? My name is Kevin Trotman. I'm an associate product manager over at New Balance. So I work on our global collaborations. So specifically like our streetwear collabs. So I've been working with Joe since he started working with us. Salehi Benbury, Stray Rats, Levi's, those kinds of projects I oversee. And so been with the brand coming on 6 years now. Kind of just work my way up. I started in customer service. I won't go on too long, but I gotta say my little spiel because like this is a part of it too, right? Like we would have those types of calls, and you would really want to connect with other Black people that look like you in the building, because corporate is extremely white, to be frank. So I was in customer service. I was just trying to, whoever looked like me, I was just trying to get with them and just see what they was about. And so that's kind of how I kind of weaved my way into lifestyle, and then eventually got into collaborations. But kind of, Joe, just to your point, I think with this collection, we really wanted to, because before we've done 2 years before dedicated Black History Month collections, and I think that with this year it was different because we knew that we needed to amplify that collection, but in a way that was super authentic and real to not only the brand, but to our people. And with the relationship that we have with Joe, it was just, it made too much sense. And so I think for us, it was really about making sure that, one, the product was right, it was wearable, it was something that can connect to the community, but also something that came from a place where you knew that it had Joe's spin on it, right? Because you know how Joe does. And so for us, we really wanted to kind of amplify that. So that's kind of really kind of where it birthed from. I know Jordan has a little bit probably more to say, because he's been the mastermind, the designer behind all this. So
let me stop real quick to my bad. Real quick. It was a challenge too, y'all, because I have my own shoe drop in 2 weeks. So I felt like I was, this is just like the bad, the good and the bad. I felt like I was working on somebody else's homework while trying to finish my homework at the same time. Because my name is on this too. It might not say JFG or Joe Fresh Goods, but making sure that this still feels organic and make sure this goes beautiful front to back, but I also have to work on my own stuff. So I think that's one thing too that I learned when you're doing creative direction, you have to know that this is not mine. Sometimes I have to kind of take myself out of it and be like, okay, yeah, we can like, if I'm cooking something and, I just want to make sure that it feels like me, but it's not like me. I'm still, so I think it was kind of a challenge. I would say working on my own product while working at the same time. But dope. But yeah, Jordan is the product designer. He pretty much designed all this shit.
No, yeah.
I just said okay at the end.
Yeah, to that point, Joe, no, that was like the main thing for me and Kev when we started. We said we knew you had outside clothes coming. We knew you had, other projects coming, and we wanted to make sure everything felt like it seamlessly wove into all your collections. Because we knew, I know you don't want nobody saying, oh, this is Joe's collection, this is Joe's, but we knew how the internet's going to take it. Once your name is on it, everybody going to think, oh, this is JFG. So we had to make sure that still all the product and all the stories still made sense. So we felt like, coming off the pandemic, to Kev's point, over the last few years, we've done a few other BHM, quote-unquote, collections. This is our first Black Experience collection. That's what we calling it. But, our main thing was, everybody was in the pandemic. Everyone was separated from family. Nobody could see their, friends and family. And we really wanted to take this conversation and really celebrate it as a whole to say, people are coming back together. Everybody's coming to see their moms and dads and grandmas and granddads all over again. And these important conversations that we had our whole lives growing up during the pandemic, we didn't have. And so all this is that celebration of us coming back together. And so that's kind of what the whole story and impact. And of course, we had Joe to just take everything to the very next level, master storyteller. So.
And then can y'all talk about Black Souls? Because I keep saying that, but I don't know. Like, what is Black Souls?
And you didn't introduce yourself.
My fault. My name is Jordan Johnson. I'm an associate product manager / designer, which is again why I was able to design this collection. But I play both sides sometimes. But I work on a lot of the individual collaborators like Jaden Smith, also Tokyo Design Studios, some of our more advanced product as well, but also global collaborations along with Joe in the audience, and then Kev. So
And he's a little nervous.
Look at his waves. Look at his waves, y'all.
Waves is spinning.
Joe said let the waves talk. So
Waves is spinning. But yeah, man, Black Souls. I'm pretty passionate about this, so I'll try and keep it relatively quick. But Black Souls really started 2020, kind of summer of 2020. Obviously, there was a lot of trauma, and there was a lot of things that were happening, obviously, in our community that were really, really calling for just togetherness, right? Like as a people, like we need to come together, right? So for us at New Balance, we didn't have a platform at all where we would be able to just connect as employees and just talk candidly, frank, freely about whatever, right? And so it really just happened when we was like, yo, let's just start meeting. Like, there's a lot to talk about right now. There's a lot of people that really need to just get things off their chest, right? And so we just started meeting bi-weekly, and then it turned into us reaching out to people that worked in retail, because you gotta think we work in corporate, so we don't get to see the people that are out in the stores really like face to face with the customers. And so for us, we really started reaching out to them, and it turned into like we was adding like at one point like 20 people every other week to the call, because that's how many Black people really work for New Balance. And so it was like a safe haven for real for us to like come and for real, the dopest part about it is like the VP of like our lifestyle department is on there, and he's like, "Yo, speak how you want, speak candidly." Oh yeah, and the VP of lifestyle is Black at New Balance, and so that's another thing that y'all should take into account. That actually deserves a hand clap.
Shout out
you don't see that.
Yeah,
you don't see that in corporate companies, especially at that level. So, but yeah, man, Black Souls really is like. It's like that safe haven. It's something that like we look forward to. And Joe, like you were saying earlier, bro, like. We talk about promotions. We go as far as like putting out like jobs that are like on a career website. We have a whole communications like leadership that will like send notes in the chat. Oh, there's a visual merchandising job that just opened up. They're looking for someone that got style and knows how to dress, and that they could actually merch something up. And so we'll get those notifications, and it's just something where it's like putting our people up front and putting our people first. Which is kind of like at the forefront of like how the group even started. So it's something that we're all really, really passionate about, man. So.
Why are you still passionate? What's the vision? Tell me. You're talking about the passion, but what's the way you guys see it? Like, what is the vision for Black Souls, and doing the work and y'all together now that we in this space and y'all got beautiful product and y'all got Joe all excited and we all here, right? But tell us about the vision for this. Tell us about like the long-term plan. Y'all got me here all excited, so tell us.
I think the long-term thing is exactly what we do. It's all about progress, right? Because to Kev's point, before we started this, it was just, if we see each other in the hallway, yo, what's good? How you been? Just one-on-one conversations. But the more and more we meet every week, every bi-weekly, more and more people feel more comfortable to get stuff off their chest, and just the therapy of it all, I feel like it's the ultimate payoff. But even so, corporate starting to take notice, and there's been other ARGs, the Asian groups or, other people of color that started their own ARGs as well within the company, and they feel empowered by our group. And so I just think, just overall better quality and conditions for every single employee in the company is the ultimate goal, and I feel like every day we're getting closer to that. So
yeah, and I think it's something where like we're fostering a platform for like new Black associates that are coming into the company that really don't. You don't have a clue. You don't know what you don't know, right? And so you're coming into a company that, like I said bluntly, is very white, and you're kind of looking for that safe haven. And so I think Black Souls, what I see anyway, is like, because it's crazy that, bro, this was only like 2 years ago. To see where it's come now is wild. So it's hard to kind of like almost like quantify, like, all right, what is it going to look like in the next 2 years, right? But I really think it's going to be that one-stop shop to where it's really a platform for like information, like for Black associates within the company, right? And then even further, like collections like this, like continuing something where Black Souls does have some kind of input into, it could be either the product or just the ideas behind some of the collections, right? Like getting their input is super important too. So I think it could be a one-stop shop for a lot of different things.
Yeah, I was loading it. I was a loaded question. I think the idea for me is just like the togetherness. Like we all here, right? And we get here because we meaningfully support each other. Like for me, I got excited seeing, like Joe, we had these big conversations. They're never small conversations. We talk, and then we'll talk for 20 minutes, and it's retail, it's projects, it's partnership, it's meaningfully inspiring one another. So when you see people get together, for me, it's like, what's the opportunity for us to control our space, right? Less about any brand or what any brand has to do, like with no disrespect to none of the brands in the world, and I love them all equally, right? But like we have to be intentional about understanding what it is that we want to get from this, and having a plan for it all, right? And so I give y'all all the credit in the world for getting us here and meaningfully organizing yourselves and tapping Joe. And Joe, obviously you doing what you do, and even everybody here for coming out and supporting us. So that's all I wanted to say.
It's important.
Sir.
So I think just getting into the product a little bit, as far as the marketing side. All right, so Joe Fresh Goods. Joe Fresh Goods is a team of what? How many employees I got now? Like, yeah. Man, I started shipping. You know, I was remember like 8 years ago. I was shipping hoodies out my mom's basement. I team overnight. You know, I got like 11 employees. So for me, that's a lot. But you know, I want to kind of talk about like the storytelling. I think when I first came up with conversations amongst us, I was like, oh shit, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put all the poppin' New Balance people around a dinner table, and then I'm gonna have the camera come out and film all of us eating soul food. And I thought to myself, man, what the fuck am I talking about? Plus Adidas did some lame shit like that before. So I was just like, no.
You couldn't help yourself.
I couldn't. I gotta stop it. I have to stop. I'm so sorry.
Couldn't help yourself.
But I beat myself up because I wanted to really not let my people down. Every visual that you're gonna see from this is gonna be like, oh my God, I've been through that before. So, you know, on the creative side, it's 4 women that run everything for me. AZ, project manager, mom. I hate to even say project manager because that doesn't even, what she does for me is way bigger than project management, but she does a lot. So when I have these ideas, these commercials, man, it's just a lot for production. From idea to it's just a lot. So, you know, I think, you know, we came up with this idea, and, you know, we wanted to see the way to do it. So when I come up with stuff, I storyboard stuff via sticky note, you know, lay it all out, and then I just give it to my team. And again, like, it is so beautiful working with women, man. They are the best. Make sure they have my back. This is just like, I would say the key to my success right now is all because of Black women, you know. Yeah, let's clap for that. But yeah, I think I want to talk about like, and then we can show the commercial in a little bit. We're gonna give y'all a surprise. We're gonna give y'all a sneak peek of a commercial that's coming out tomorrow. But yeah, I think AZ, let's kind of talk about working with me. How is it? How stressful is it?
Before we go there, you have to say like the meaning of conversation amongst us
Yeah, go
first.
ahead, do it.
No, you do. That is your
I don't
idea.
like that. Man, because it's not a definition. It's just it's why you
It's a
do
vibe
Why you do that?
because it's on the paper.
You know.
It's on the paper.
It's me, it's us, man. I just love how Black women big each other up. I love how Black men be like scared to say what's up and like you doing well. It's just certain things about what we do and how we do it. I like it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Can we talk about that for a second? Because it's someone else said that to me. What's happening right now with Black women and how Black women's meaningfully pushing things along. Because Black women have a way of supporting when Black men we can be tough sometimes. Either you don't want to look corny, so you act tough, right? And then women come in and soften it. AZ, could you talk about that some? Please. Like we got to listen and learn. Y'all doing it. I can't talk about it. Y'all doing it.
I mean, I just feel like we feel a little comfortable because we know it's coming from a good place. I feel like when a woman says something to you, it's not, it's just like a little bit more genuine than like a man. I feel like, y'all compete with each other. Y'all do. It's like y'all compete with each other a little bit. With us, like even with just working with Joe and everybody on the like Fat Tiger team, I think just being around each other, we became a family. So we know that if I cuss Joe out, it's out of love. If I tell him, yeah, that's not
How many
great.
times a week you gotta cuss him out?
Not a lot. I think in the beginning we had to learn each other, but now we kind of understand, how to move and groove, and we know each other, so it's like a little easier. I think a lot of people, especially in Chicago, they be like, I know it's so tough to work with them, and I'm just like, nah, I worked with white people before, and that's tough because they want you to come in and be somebody else, and to wake up every morning and have to be somebody else is fucking draining. But to come into work and be yourself and be accepted for who you are, and like having people, especially like men and women, motivating you to be better and seeing the good in you and putting you in position to be the best version of yourself is way better than just getting this big ass check to be something that you're not. You know what I'm saying? So I think with us, it's just, we just know, like we've learned each other. So when he cusses me out, girl, you shouldn't have done that. When it comes to personal stuff and work shit, we're like family. So it's just like, you learn each other. So it's different. I think a relationship, especially a friendship between men and women, is just, you can talk about so many different things and it's coming from a good place. Because it's like, I don't want nothing from you besides my check and your friendship.
Yeah. And the vibe. And you made sure, and that's your fucking secret sauce, the vibe.
Yeah.
No.
Because as things get bigger for me, and I know I'm the namesake brand, but like when I do these productions and these lookbooks and these videos, it's literally 10, 12, 15, 20 people that's a part of that. So now I'm at the stage in my life where I just want to give everybody I want to plug everybody. I want to make sure I plug all the women, plug Black Soul, plug like my warehouse people. Everybody, it says Joe Fresh Goods, but I think it was kind of cool learning that now, it's my name, right? But I've built like a organization, a team behind it. So, getting back into the creative, I, come up with a video, we storyboard it out, and, creative director, so we find, a videographer. And I like to keep everything Chicago. I think the bigger I get to start using other directors and stuff. But like, so far, I think the last 3 masterpieces we shot have been all Chicago directors. So I'm proud of that, because out in Chicago, never want to be a gatekeeper, you know what I'm saying? So with community goods, and that's another thing too, all this internet stuff, I forgot to even say that, with my nonprofit, New Balance came to bat to nice donation. It's a lot of stuff that we're doing with a lot of young Black organizations, so that's something I want to touch on. I'll probably start talking about that next week though. But everything has just been beautiful, and I just very proud of all the visuals we came up with. It was a lot of hard work. I think let's watch the Kawhi video so we can talk about that a little bit. The Kawhi video, Zach, I'm gonna go into that a little bit.
Do you want to do the drink? Kawhi? It's Kawhi. Kawhi.
So like it happens to me all the time in Chicago because that's where I'm from. So like I be outside, I still like kicking and party like I didn't just do this and that. People be like Black men sometimes be so afraid to just say congratulations or just so, it's so weird sometimes, and I think I'm just trying to get out of that habit where we can just talk to each other as far as just looking at each other weird or thinking it's smoke and any of that shit. So I think, I wanted to just make a piece that just kind of focused on how black men communicate with each other in certain settings, with just like the head nod. There's so many different ways and what the head nod means. So it was just something I've never seen before. I think I just wanted something to feel like us. I think, oftentimes, what I realized too that kind of beat me up with, it feels like I'm making all this black content and, I can't stop who get my shit. But sometimes I just feel like, when it comes to, I just want to make sure that there's more access to my people. And I think me getting big is dope, but I think that the reason why I tried to do something in my park is to make it accessible. So I think right now I'm struggling with just making sure that I continue to tell these stories, but also make sure that it's accessible to my people. That's the downside of creating a hype product. It's just it's my goal to make sure that it's in the right people's hand, but it gets tricky sometimes. So that's something that I'm working on. I think, but when it comes to the visuals, man, I just wanted to, wanted to make sure there's something that felt like us. And I think the relationship that I got with Kawhi, super weird. We talk almost every day now, and I think it's just that's how it started. All-Star Weekend in Chicago, he put up to my store, and it was just nothing but head nods. But we kind of knew what that meant to each other. And after that, we've been bros since. So it's just I made that because I wanted to show his charisma, even though he didn't do nothing. But it was kind of a double-edged sword where I wanted to kind of talk about black men and communication and kind of poke fun at how Kawhi talked to people. So that's that commercial.
Yeah, just highlighting nonverbal communication. Yeah, in the black community, because I feel like we do that a lot, especially in awkward situations where it's not a lot of us.
Yeah.
It's we give each other that look.
Yep.
That was a good way to highlight that.
Yeah.
And just before we continue, I want to make sure we shout out everybody else in the team that was a part of this, because it's not a lot of us. So Miata, Aaliyah, Jendai, Malik, Jose, I'm here, but it wouldn't have happened without all of us. And that was us.
It's a lot. These commercials is a lot, man.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And we have to hire outside help, but
the
team took a lot of that weight.
Yeah.
And y'all were a part of some of that,
A little bit.
Yeah.
But it was a lot.
All right, so the next commercial, we're going to drop it tomorrow. I let the ladies handle this. I came up with, I guess I could talk about it beforehand. I was just what do y'all do when y'all in the bathroom? Oftentimes, I see women go in the bathroom, they don't know each other, they come out, they best friends. So I just asked a lot of the ladies on my team, I have this concept, I want y'all to write to this beat, and that's how this commercial came. I pretty much gave the range to my team of women to help me create this visual that's black women bigging each other up, in an unconventional way. You can drop the next video.
Well, of course you were. No, you always feel it.
Go back, you gotta go back. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, your girl was on one today. I was showing out, not gonna lie.
Well, of course you were. No, you always feel it.
All right. Always hyping me up.
So, when are you gonna get a call back? I know you didn't.
Listen, it's different from what I've done before. I love the character, and I kill my line. Hey, girl.
My bad. Who did your nails? They are cute.
Oh, girl, the way you was staring, I thought we was gonna have a problem. Okay, shoes. Okay, fit.
Oh, for real? Who did your nails?
Yeah, so that's it. Yeah. Short and sweet. I don't want to bore people to death with a 3-minute visual. But yeah, I wanted to really just, use that time to because again, I was just I didn't want to be a man that's speaking for women. That's why for me, it's just when I came up with this concept, I had to make sure that I was coming in the right place, But I think for me, this was, the Kawhi one was funny. I think for me, this was just I wanted to kind of hit home, but in a short, impactful way. again, like even with my team, I love how they just big each other up when it's like a problem. Like sometimes it's like a big problem that exists in the brand with us, and I just sit back and they just figure it out. And they just like really, when one of them are down, they just like, so it's just really beautiful how they do things. So that's what this commercial was about. You know, just like spotlighting women and just having that like horse in the bathroom. You wrote it, so you want to talk a little bit about?
I had help. It was four of us, but yeah, we just wanted to highlight. I mean, even like the women on our team, we're all different backgrounds, come from different places, and we thought like one of the things that we connect on are nails. Like I feel like every woman somehow, some way, you don't get your nails done, you do, you are into nails. Even now, like I need to get my nails done, and even on the way to the airport, the girl's like, "Girl, your nails are cute," and I'm like, I need to get them done, but thank you because they looking rough. But that like, you know, just puts confidence. Like, okay, I'll make it through this panel with these rough nails. But we just wanted to highlight that and like moments in the bathroom when you need toilet paper and you got to ask that random person, "Hey girl, let me get some toilet paper." Or, you know, you and your best friend in the bathroom just talking about some stuff, taking a break from the restaurant or the party, you know. Or, you know, when a girl looks at you and you don't know if you got to fight or if she thinks she know you from somewhere, and it usually ends up being not that, you know. And just celebrating each other. So Black women we celebrate each other, and I feel like the narrative is always we're angry or we're mean and we don't like each other. And that's usually not it, especially in the bathroom. Every time I'm in the bathroom and we're out, I'm always meeting somebody. There's always some type of conversation. You eavesdrop in a conversation. You're like, "Girl, me too." And this like commercial was just a way to kind of highlight that. It was a short amount of time, but I felt like, you know, with what we had, we created this like moment, and we got to highlight certain things, so everybody, no matter how old you were or where you're from, you kind of understood, or you've been in some type of situation like that where you're just like, something similar to me happened in the bathroom or somewhere in the airport, or, you know, when I was in a restaurant or the library, you know, just kind of making that friend, or, you know, creating that relationship in a weird space, or, you know, just needing someone to give you a compliment when you need it the most. And, you know, we just feel vibes sometimes, especially like older women. They always feel your vibes when you need a compliment. They're like, "Girl, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna make it through." And I just felt like we wanted to capture all of that in that short commercial. And then we had Storm, you know?
Yeah, she did a beautiful job. New Balance signed some really good people. Yeah, but so, all right, James, let me tell you about James. He gonna hate it I'm telling this story, because I ain't telling him I was doing this. I'm sorry. Man, so I don't have that many mentors right now. I'm gonna be honest, no sad story. You know, rest in peace, Virgil. It was a few people that I felt comfortable sharing my information with, talking about growth. I think just as a, you know, Black business right now, no funding from nobody, like everything is just me and my team. So I'm learning stuff in real time. You know, I'm growing so fast where it's a lot of challenges. So, you know, a lot of things that I'm going through in retail and just like this scope of culture right now, I don't have that many people I can talk to about just stuff that's going on that can relate and just give me really good game. Because I'm not afraid to ask questions. I think that's one thing that sometimes we try to get it on our own, and we don't ask for help. As popping as my shoes sell out and things are, you know, going good for me, I'm still challenged with a lot of business questions. So, you know, James, he don't know, man. I saw him in New York one day. You remember the story? He was eating with Fuck Master Flex, I feel like. You was at like, I forgot what restaurant I saw you at, but you walked past me, man. We didn't know each other like that. I met you. I used to see you at Agenda. Agenda was like, you know, I was like maybe 22. I used to work at Leader. So Agenda was like where all the stores and brands used to be at. So I used to just see a flock of stores just following James. And like, I think we used to say, "What's up?" But you knew me through Leaders. I didn't know you like that at the time. I was still a shorty coming up. But I always admired you. I just was like, one day we gonna talk. And I remember, yeah, Leaders, yes. Leaders 1354. Shout out to Corey. I cannot see. He's going to beat my ass if I don't shout him out. Shout out to leaders. Yes. Yes. But yo, yeah, I remember like I saw James and I just like, I can't wait till he speak to me one day. He just walked right past me. Like this nigga just walked right past me, man. Like damn. But I was a shorty. I didn't know what I was doing. But now, fast forward to now, I'm just honored to be able to sit on the couch with somebody that's setting the trail for somebody like me, you know, just retail, you know. I think just to be honest, and you might know hard numbers than me, but like, you know, I think I'm at the stage now where a lot of, people DM me every day, yo, I'm a black business in Austin, why can't I get New Balance? And I'm just like, your store look trash. I don't really want to say that. But you like, that's what I want to talk about too, is like just black in retail. But I think, you know, I'm challenged because as my shit get bigger, I want to make sure it goes into black retailers. And this motherfucker is the black reseller right now. So I think for me, it's just like, it's been dope to kind of just learn from him. He's been an open book. You know, we both are busy men. Sometimes we're like, all right, Joe, I got 10 minutes. I'm gonna call you at this, and he always called me. So I'm very, you know, honored to call him a friend. I think when it came to this conversation, you know, this collection being called this, it was a part of you in this too, because these conversations I'm able to have with my just homies and just people in the industry just means a lot to me. So, you know, I think, you know, I know your background. I just think, but when it comes to like retail right now, I just get straight to it. Like, why don't you think like, because I'm starting to get questioned with so many black retailers, like it's not a lot too, but like, you know, why is it so hard for us to, I don't know, I can't say have like the stores, like not the mom and pop stores, but like for us to go this level, like what you're doing right now, you know, I feel like a certain ceiling that I'm seeing with a lot of the old mom and pop store. I feel like you figured it out, but like a lot of stores hasn't really graduated from like this new age of what streetwear and like retail is right now. And I'm starting to have a hard time when a store come to me and like, yo, I want like tell New Balance I need an account, and I'm like, I look on the Instagram, it's a brother. I mean, you know, but like you gotta make your store look cute, and like, why is that? Like, is it?
I think the first thing is, first and foremost, thank you. I think all of us, and shout out to Chicago, and I say this, you know, I'm Pittsburgh to the death and all the cities we in. But when I first started, Chicago was in like he said, shout out to Corey. Corey was one of the first dudes who he took us all in, right? Like everybody, like people don't talk about Virgil and Corey's story and Kanye and Corey's story, but anybody who came through Chicago came through leaders. So, and all of us in one way or another came through leaders. He was first, so shout out to Corey. But bigger than that, I think it's just about meaningful opportunity. Like everything that we've done, like 3/4 of my journey, I'm just trying to like, just like you, we're having conversations to give the game away, because when I was coming up, there was Corey, right? And he gave me everything he knew, but then we got to go out there and explore and get the information, but no one's meaningfully either looking for it, right? And even if they have it, they don't have the resources to execute it, right? So even like what we're doing now, like, yo, it's about trying to help the youngins. You tell them like, yo, I wish I could give you the product, but you got to first meaningfully, same question I asked y'all, what's your vision for what you want to do? Like, don't just wake up out the bed and feel like you're supposed to get an opportunity because you black. Like, yeah, we having a micro moment right now, right? But there's still some level of accountability that's needed from all of us if we're going to actually get somewhere, right? So I think what I believe is happening is, you said it, like you're now getting meaningful support, right? I'm now getting meaningful support. So that makes things a little easier for us. But for the most part, when you're starting, that support don't exist, and showing up to things like this is what helps you understand and learn to do the work. But it takes a lot of work, and people got to be willing to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's just dope to see you expand how you expand. I think because I recently just closed my store down, Fat Tiger, after 8 years, and it wasn't even like it was. It was like our club that we just made a real thing, and Chicago's really supported us. But just the structure of running a business and having employees. How many employees do you have now?
200 something.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I don't even know what the fuck you talking about with that. Like what? So it's just stuff like that. So it's just like, I check myself, man, because as big as I want, as big as things that I'm doing, I just know it's a bigger picture. So I'm just often intrigued on, how you're doing it, and just like, you know, and what you face, because what something you said is just like, you finally, you know, now it's happening, you know, and I think it's have you turned down? Like, have you been pitched? Of course you have. Of course you have. Well, I think we all, you know.
I mean, we all get, listen, we have tons of meaningful partnerships and tons of meaningful teams, but for us, and even you, it's about the ecosystem for us, right? Like, I can't say, I'm never going to say no to an opportunity that moves us collectively forward, right? That's what I'm looking at everything. When I look at any one situation, I'm like, if it works for us, it works, right? Now, obviously, there has to be taste connected to it, right? There has to be vision, there has to be real connectivity, and there has to be a way where we could have a long-term vision associated with it. But yeah, I think that, and the other part is it's not just me anymore, right? When I came to, like, yo, now there's a team. Like, respectfully, our team put this together. Yeah. We had a conversation, and our team got the vision from you guys. We jumped on a call, and we ain't talked since. Yeah. Right, and that was, hold on, was it
5 days ago?
5 days ago, right? 5 days ago, we had a call, and our team said, we got it. Jay, you need to be here at 7:30. I walked in the door, and here we are, right? So I don't get to this space without a team. I think Joe talked about his team. I think they talked about Black Souls, right? And I think us meaningfully working together as a community, as a network, less about it, meaning the product, more about us and our connectivity and building each other up. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no, I mean, you spoke on it. I think just learning from a team, you know, infrastructure, and just like how to because for me, I wanted to make sure that you guys kind of, and I wish in a perfect world I can go to every city and do this, but we can't, you know what I'm saying? We got our own product to drop as well. But I just wanted to make sure I connect with you because, again, I do admire what you have going on, and I think I didn't want to just sell stuff to people, you know? I don't.
But you're not.
Yeah,
You said that. You said that on the call too. You're providing.
Do I be sounding crazy on these calls?
No.
I'd be so nervous that I'd be having a blunt in my ear with a white tank top on.
Joe, you are always so extremely nervous about what you're taking, but you're never looking at what you're adding to the world, right? Like the vibes, like we all need it. And like, yo, you don't show up and take anything from the city. Like everybody here's showing up to get some energy and probably the idea that some product might drop, but more the energy. Right?
New Balance didn't make me do this. No, New Balance did not make me do this. It's not a part of my fee or nothing like that. I just was like, you know what, let me come to Atlanta and just have this session, just talk to some people that was a part of the project. So I just wanted to just note that, and I appreciate everybody for coming out tonight. I think that's, for the most part, I think that's all we have. Should we get to questions? Yeah. Challenges of Black, yeah.
Good job.
We used to having a moderator.
I'm here. I'm right here. So, how'd that sound here? That's good for y'all? So, we got a surprise for y'all. We're gonna take a couple of questions from the audience. You get to ask some questions, see what's up, see what's in the mind of, you know what I'm saying, everyone that's up here. We have our floater coming around with the mic. Hold on, give me a second. We have our floater coming around with the mic. Raise your hand if you would like to ask a question. Okay, yeah, so.
Please don't ask about product.
Yes, our floater is coming around. We have Nick right there. She's floating around with the mic.
Hello? Can y'all hear me? Bet. Okay. Give it to you, Quentin.
Hey, what's up? My name is Quentin.
Speak up, bro. Quentin, speak up.
My name is Quentin. Used to work here. Shout out to James. Question for Joe. You mentioned the word infrastructure. What does that look like as far as trying to connect this kind of product to the people that you're trying to connect it to in an infrastructure kind of sense?
Clarify that one a little bit.
Like infrastructure as far as selling it to people?
I mean, more or less, I guess, the structure of making sure that this kind of product is put towards those people And then even far as like connecting with the James and like making this all kind of come together. Like, what does that look like necessarily in a day for you trying to make this happen?
Well, it's growing pains, you know. Like, to be super honest, like my first sneaker, I had 800 pairs. You know, now I'm getting into like the thousands.
Right.
And, you know, just even taking on product, I wasn't prepared for that. I think sometimes, again, I don't know why I still look at myself like a small business. I know people call it cap on that, but like when you're just growing so fast, and sometimes you don't realize the mistakes that might come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, can y'all imagine having to take 20,000 shoes? Like, just the structure on that. What do you get shipped to? The shipping cost to that. It's just stuff that I never imagined. I just wanted to make a shoe, but what's the infrastructure? You getting that shoe to where you at? So I'm learning as I go. I think as far as getting it to the people, to be honest with you, I'm growing enough energy with New Balance now to have certain conversations that I probably didn't feel comfortable having like 2 years ago. Like now I can be like, yo, it's this store in Virginia. He looking good. There's some, you know, a black retailer. Can y'all look into him? And, you know, we can have a conversation. So I think when it comes to just like working with James and with this, it's just the metrics. You know, he's doing really well. You know, now we have New Balance, and I'm working with New Balance heavy, so it just made sense. So for me, it's just baby steps. Not baby steps, but learning how to release stuff and learning how to accept shoes. All this shit is happening at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I don't have no partner. It's just really me and my team just day-to-day trying to figure everything out. So still growing.
All right, we got one right here.
Pull my mask down. How you doing? My name is Diamond Bradley. I want to start with just saying thank you for just living your truth, telling your stories. Everything that y'all are doing is very inspiring to Black creatives. And so my question is to Joe. I have a question about what your vision is for your nonprofit. I'm a founder of an organization. It's called the Primary Movement. It's a creative agency that builds sustainable careers and community for Black creatives here in Atlanta. And so my goal is to get to creative director role. So it's kind of full circle just hearing your story and how you've been able to just kind of create a legacy through everyone that's here. So what is your vision for your nonprofit and where you want to take yourself as a creative director and as a leader?
Yeah, that's a great question. I started the nonprofit by mistake, I would say, because I wanted to do good, I just didn't know how. Like starting a 501c3, probably one of the top 5 most hardest things I ever did in my life. I had to hire a whole another team, community goods, like 6 people. So that's a whole nother side of my business. I think, man, if I can keep it real, you know, it was my way to just continue to give back. You know what I'm saying? I'm growing really fast. And I started talking to people at like grammar school and high school. And I just got so intrigued on like how me coming to a classroom, smelling like weed, like being myself, you know, and I just left 5 business meetings, like just being my true Black self. These kids be like, yo, I don't gotta change up, you know? And like, I just started helping certain kids get off the streets. And I didn't realize how much this stuff that we do really impact kids one by one. So that's where it started. From there, I would make T-shirts and raise the money and give back to a local Black business, and it was just hurting my taxes. So I just really got official with it, put together a plan, and I think now I'm so clouded up when it comes to brands working with me, and I have to hold them accountable. I find ways to make sure they give back to Chicago, my nonprofit, and find ways to like put it out there in real time. So it's just a way, if you want to work with me, you got to work with my, you know, nonprofit. And it's all about arts education. Like, again, like it's a lot of art programs in Chicago that's underfunded. The violence in Chicago gets really real sometimes. So I just think for me, what I'm doing and what we're doing as a team, I just want these kids, these younger kids, to be able to be there and see everything. So we just building different programs the next 2-3 years, just like for house kids as they get out of school. Putting them, you know, kids are gonna start working on product with me. Yeah, so just keeping kids off the streets through like art and design. No problem.
Yeah, Zach, I got a question back here, and then I'm gonna pass it to the middle.
Yo, hello everybody. My name's Eric Sanders. I'm a beSOCIAL resident and just wanted to thank you guys so much for coming out and telling us about this exclusive shoe. My question is for Joe and James. What do you guys do to continue to embody those stories from the black culture, from the black history that you've already experienced from you guys, from you guys' lives? How do you embody that with different soles of different shoes? How do you keep those stories alive and tell it to us like this?
I think that
was definitely a lot.
I think a part of it is just to live black experience, right? Like I think the thing that excites me is this, like I just exist. I think Joe spoke about it, AZ spoke about it, Young spoke about it. For me, it's just about meaningfully existing and stirring the pot. It's very easy to tell the stories. That's what AZ said, let's not talk about product. For me, it's not about the product. It's continuously always about us and our experiences and how we connect to them. We define the product that we choose to wear, right? So I think the stories like no different than like anything else. Like that's how it's the way of communicating, right? Like if you had a stressful day and you call somebody, you see, they tell you a funny ass story, you're gonna get a laugh out of it. It's gonna invoke an emotion, right? And for us, we as consumers have informed the marketplace through transactions for so long, but rarely are our authentic stories told. So when I see Joe as a fan, right, and a friend, I'm like, ooh, that shit's fire. You know what I'm saying? But then we all uniquely grow up in our neighborhoods around the world, so we all have these stories, and none of them are the same, but they're all still very closely connected, right? And they're unique to all of us, and there's enough space for us to exist. Like today, I hope what people understands is like, yo, it's about us all empowering each other and meaningfully existing together. Like for me, that's the thing that's super dope, because we'll all continue to tell our stories, but if there isn't space, like yo, when you talking to a homie, you tell him a funny ass story, he probably then somebody else probably tells another funny ass story. Somebody else tells another funny ass story, and that's how shit kind of gets like moved forward. So less about the connectivity to the product, more about the connectivity to our culture and us meaningfully letting the world see us. If that makes sense.
All right, we got our last one right here in the middle, and then we'll have some announcements after that. So go ahead, you got it.
Hi, everybody. My name is Maya Elise. I'm actually from Chicago, and I work at Meniere Atlanta as well. But my question is for AZ. Is your voice heard as a black woman in the sneaker community? And if so, what's your advice to other black women in the industry who have a passion for creative direction?
Another good question.
So AZ.
Go ahead, spell it, baby. No! Wow. Don't film me. He was waiting for me.
That was an onion.
Do not film this.
Go ahead, do your thing.
Nah.
Yo.
But I'm a silent killer, so I don't really talk about all the shit that I do. Where most people do, you know, some people fake it until they make it. Some people really out here doing it. I just think it's hard for black women in this industry, streetwear, whatever. For me, you know, I've experienced a lot. I've been in the game for a while. I've got to work with a lot of cool people. I got to do a lot of great things. But I think right now with brands, they're looking at numbers and, you know, your Instagram presence and who you are, especially as a woman, who you date, who you married to, who you have a baby with. All those things are important instead of just kind of like, okay, what rooms are you in? You know, what have you done? What's your resume looking like? Yeah, I'm horrible on Instagram. But this is why. A lot of the reasons why I've worked with a lot of dope people, it didn't just start with like Fat Tiger, I've been doing this, is because I don't talk about it. People feel safe with me. I've been in so many different rooms it's crazy. I'm gonna write a book one day, you know? But it's like, because I'm not on Instagram, like, look what I'm doing, I get to experience a lot of things, but it also hurts because it's like brands are like, AZ, she just be with the guys.
She don't show off that much, but she does everything for a lot of people.
It's just like, she just be with the guys, where other people are like, well, look what I'm doing. So it hurts and it helps, but it's just like for me, it's just like, well, what matters the most? Is it working with brands that are just going to steal your energy, or is being able to be in these rooms where you can make these connections and you can build with like people that are just like on the same like level or trying to do the same things as you? That for me is better than just getting free shoes.
Talk that talk. Talk that talk.
You know?
Shots.
That's just what it is. Because at the end of the day, if we look at it, these collabs is usually men. They're not really collabing with us. And if it is, it's just like, hey, let's just say we did a collab with a black woman and then steal her energy, and then we go back to working with men. So it's just like, yeah, I don't really care. Maybe one day I'll have a sneaker. I don't care. I'd rather be in, do shit. I wrote and helped direct a commercial with Storm. What?
Did your
Fuck
thing
your
too.
shoes. Not a lot of people get to say they could do that. And like, I started working with Joe. I was shipping for him. Like, you know how you were talking about you were customer service?
Yeah.
I started shipping for him. And then I remember one day I was like, man, I just came back from Italy. I'm in between jobs. You got a pop-up? What's up?
Yeah.
Some other guy was trying to be your manager, bumped him out the way, talk my shit.
Talk about Luke.
So it's just like, those moments are way more important to me than it is to just say that I worked with a brand and had a one-off shoe. So it just depends on like, what's your end goal? What really matters to you? And what's your story? What you want to, Thank you.
Beautiful.
I've been taking notes while y'all be talking on y'all Zoom.
All right, thank everybody for coming. Oh, yeah, we got some news.
Oh, that's my job.
My bad.
Let's give everybody a round of applause right now. That's all y'all got, man? All right. So look, I got a couple of announcements, all right? This is great. But it can be better, right? I think that's something Jay says all the time. It can be better. So what we got going on is the bar is opening up right now out here to the right, my right. And what we're going to do, we're going to let you all get up and go on outside. We're going to move this out of the way. We're going to get the Left Coast legend over here, DJ Chubby Swag. We're going to let him rock out. We're going to have a good time. And we appreciate y'all for coming, man. Truly, truly, truly appreciate y'all for coming. Also, tip your bartenders.
Tip your bartenders.
Yes. Huh?
Mm-hmm.